Heat, or thermal energy, is energy in the form of the vibration and motion of the molecules in a substance. The faster those molecules vibrate and move, the more heat energy they contain. But of course, we all know what heat is. We feel it every day. When we move our hands near an open fire, we feel the heat radiating from it. When we cuddle up with a loved one, we feel the heat they radiate. The thermal motion of their particles spreads into your body. But there are different ways for that heat to transfer. It can transfer by conduction, or radiation. Conduction is the transferring of heat by direct contact. Convection is transferring heat through the motions of fluids, gases, and liquids. But today, we're going to talk in a little more detail about the third kind of heat transfer, radiation. Radiation is the transfer of energy through electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves include things like light, infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, microwaves, and gamma rays. When it comes to heat transfer, the most common kind of radiation we experience in our everyday lives is infrared radiation. All warm objects produce infrared radiation. Your body is producing it right now, and so does a campfire. If you put your hand above a campfire, it feels even warmer because of the effects of convection, which is hot gases rising. But the reason it feels warm in front of a campfire at all is because of radiation. The only way an object wouldn't produce radiation is if it was cooled down all the way to absolute zero. That's negative 273 degrees Celsius. Radiation is produced when the vibrations of the object's molecules cause the electrons inside them to get jiggled up and energized. If the electrons receive enough energy, they'll jump up into higher orbits, but not for long. Eventually, they'll drop back down and produce infrared radiation. That particular infrared radiation travels towards you and gives its energy to the molecules in your body, warming you up. One unusual thing about radiation is that it doesn't need a medium or material to travel through. It even works in space, and that's a good thing. If this wasn't the case, the sun's heat wouldn't be able to get to us, and then global climate change would be the least of our civilization's worries. Put simply, without heat transfer by radiation, the Earth would be a frozen wasteland, and humans wouldn't be able to survive. Let's briefly review what we've learned about radiation and the transfer of heat energy through radiation. Heat, or thermal energy, is energy in the form of the vibration and motion of the molecules in a substance. The faster those molecules vibrate and move, the more heat energy they contain. There are three ways heat energy can be transferred: conduction, convection, and radiation. All hot objects, all objects above absolute zero in fact, constantly emit heat energy by radiation. Radiation is the transfer of energy through electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves include things like light, infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, microwaves, and gamma rays. Infrared is the most important one for our everyday lives and is the main thing we feel when we move near hot objects. Radiation doesn't even need a material to move through. It works in a vacuum. This is how the heat of the sun gets to us, making our planet so warm and toasty.